Welcome to Chamber Chat. Today, I've got Margaret Morton with me, and she is from SAFE, and she is from Sylacauga's Promise. And we're going to be talking about the ultimate ball drop. And we were just talking before we went on the air here, and we just cannot believe that it's this time of the year again.
I know. It's really hard to believe.
It is.
We've been doing this for so many years.
You said we think about 11. Yeah, we think about 11 years that this has been going on. And how did you come up with this idea in the first place?
Well, the reality is that because we had been involved with a program called The First Tee,
right,
and Farm Links was the sponsor for The First Tee, Debbie Adair, who works in our after-school programs, was working in our after-school programs then, went to a training on First Tee. She's a First Tee coach.
Okay.
And when she was there, she heard about this amazing fundraiser that they had been doing down in Florida called the Ultimate Ball Drop. And so she brought that back to Sylacauga and threw it out to the committee, and
we've been doing
said,
it.
That's amazing.
It is.
It really is. And the first year I'll never forget because you know, people were like, and you're going to do what?
Yeah.
And at that point we had a helicopter, and the helicopter would circle the field and drop the balls. And so people were like, well, aren't the balls going to scatter everywhere? Well, no, they're going to rain down. And how low is the helicopter going to fly? Well, of course, we were leaving that up to the helicopter driver, but it was such a success. And now people wait after the Sylacauga game, and they make noise and can't wait to see what we do now. Is Richard Kahn is so generous and brings his big crane out, and we drop the balls over the football field.
I think it's great because it's
you get to pull.
I get to pull the cord sometimes, and what I think is so cool about it is that the logistics of it. I mean, those boys, they just really, they get into this whole thing as far as if the crane's here, and then they fill the big cement bucket full of golf balls, and they bring it over here, and then which way is the wind blowing, and then they let it go. And I tell you what, folks, there's been balls that have either been in that hole over the years or right on the cup.
I think there's only been one year where there was where it was close, there was nothing in the hole. And there have been years people say, well, how about if there's more than one ball? Well, see, they're not.
Yeah, they're going to be on top of each other.
It's the one that's on the bottom that's the winner. And so it's been really interesting to watch and exciting to do.
It truly has.
And then to notify that person that they are now been having a gift of $5,000.
You know, and this time of the year, $5,000 is wonderful because this is Christmas. This is the time of the year when you got a lot of money going out, and just the same that you've always had coming in usually.
Right.
So an extra $5,000 is really something. And the tickets are only $5 a piece.
Yes, and they're a donation.
That's right.
And we'll talk in a little bit about what it looks like.
What helps here in a minute. That's right.
But yeah, $5, and it's interesting too, because there's sort of been a challenge that has gone out over the last, I think, about 5 years, when Bluebell was the first to buy to make a donation for every one of their employees to have a ticket. And guess what has happened for 3 years in a row?
It was 3 years in a row. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes, 3 years in a row, a Bluebell employee wound up with the $5,000. And last year, Farm Links did that, and a Farm Links employee wound up with it.
Wow.
So, business and industry.
Gosh, hear that, folks, because you know, Emirates and Amia and ICO and all the Newton Fleetwood medals, everybody, NEMAC especially, the hospital.
Yeah.
Get on board. Get on board and do that.
We're just challenging everyone to see if your company has the winning golf ball.
And that's kind of cool. That
and
is
we do
really,
verify
really cool.
it. We have Police Chief Chris Carden, and he comes out and he makes sure that we're legitimate and verifies who the winner is, because it's a numbered ball and your name is attached to that number. It's
a wonderful, it truly is a wonderful thing. And it's I think what always gets me too is I can remember one year when Chief Zook was still here and I was out there with him. It was so cold. It was so horribly cold that year that you couldn't hardly even hold the ball. We put the gloves on, it was so cold. So, and that when it's cold like that, I don't know if you know that much about golf balls. If you play golf, you do. But when it's cold like that, they bounce so high.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and you drop them from the air like that, and they bounce
like
everywhere.
Coming out of the helicopter, they were kind of spread. You know, depending on when the bags were dumped.
Right.
But coming out of the crane, they all come down in a curtain.
Yeah.
So everybody is equal distance.
Yeah, yeah.
And has equal opportunity to actually be the one whose ball winds up in the hole. I remember there has been one year, and I don't know, I think it was maybe the 5th or 6th, that the helicopter couldn't get over the mountain because they came in from over in Clay County, and they couldn't get over the mountain, and so we had to, and it was at the last minute, the weather, the wind, and that sort of thing, so we had to actually draw a ball out of a big tub, and I believe Lewis Zook actually drew
Chief
the ball.
Zook did that
so
year.
we had to, you know, we had to do something alternative, but so far that's only been one time.
Well, we'll go back over all this stuff too toward the end of this, but I want to talk about now is, Margaret, let's talk about all the wonderful programs that Sylacauga Promise is involved in, and which is what this ultimate ball drop, what this money benefits.
Exactly. And primarily the ball drop was designed, as I mentioned, it came out of the first tee, and it was designed to really support our after-school programs.
Right.
And so over the course of time, we've spent some of those dollars to support the after-school programs. We've been really fortunate in the last several years to have some strong support from other partners in the community for after-school and across the state, and even nationally. And so we have had to expend fewer of the ball drop monies for that purpose. We've done transportation out to farm links for the first tee and some things of that nature, but we've also been able to fund a program called the Dolly Parton Imagination Library.
Oh, man.
And that is for children up until I think it's 8 years of age that we enroll, if they're enrolled in some of our early ed programs like Hippie or Crib or some of the other programs, then they would have access to the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and that means their child gets a book a month.
Wow.
For up to 5 years.
That's
free.
Wonderful.
Free. And we pay very little.
What a library that builds up.
Well,
for
you're
these
building
children.
literacy in the home. And so we really try to target that money for that purpose. We've used some of the dollars to fund our community garden.
Right.
And to also support the school gardens because we're building school wellness and a community of wellness, and those school gardens play a huge role in that.
And I think we had a flyer that shows that it supports the Thanksgiving dinner that you do throughout the city. We've done every year, and there's a flyer right there, and it shows the dinner under the stars, which we just got through having because we had the rain out, the rain date.
And we had a wonderful time.
It was a wonderful evening, just a great evening, and the community gardens, of course, and the orchard. The orchard, I think, is so cool. When I like to go out there, and I've got a couple of trees for my mom and dad, and
they have grown, haven't they?
Unbelievably, unbelievably every year. And Bill Roberts has just been so instrumental in the kids' gardens too, not just a community garden, but in the school
gardens. Yes, and some amazing outcomes from those programs. We did a pilot this past year with UAB and Pinecrest, and it was such an embraced effort that Pam Roberts and Gary Rivers and a lot of folks at Pinecrest reached out for other resources and brought lots and lots of resources to the table. And I will tell you that only has people from across the state saying, wow, look at what they're doing, but we'd like to be a part of it, which brings additional funding and additional opportunities, and there may be some announcements in the not too distant future about some other opportunities that we've had come our way because we've been able to work together with universities, with schools, and that sort of thing.
And that's all part of the 5 promises.
Absolutely.
You know, which and for those of you who do not know what this is all about, Sylacauga's Promise, the 5 promises are it's caring adults, safe places, it's a healthy start, it's an effective education, and it's opportunities to serve. And that's what the Sylacauga's Promise is all about.
Exactly, and assuring that every child in our community, and you know, our community has grown. We aren't just the Sylacauga community. We are the Talladega County community, and we have schools and individuals and groups that are a part of this effort that are across the across the county and really across the region.
It's so often when you talk about Sylacauga, you're right, it's not just Sylacauga, which is something at the chamber I try to stress so much to some of these companies that we're trying to recruit to come in here, as far as, for different smaller restaurants or whatever, and to look at the big area. There's 90,000 people within a 20-mile radius of Sylacauga who use our services for something.
Right.
So we're not just a little community of 13,000. We truly aren't.
And you think too, Carol, even about the people that come in from outside of Talladega County, Clay County, Coosa County, that are coming here to access services, health care, retail, all of that is so critical to their existence because they don't have the resources that we are blessed with here.
That's exactly right. And more so that's becoming so dominant, as far as we're a whole lot more than people give us credit for, I think, as far as these services. Okay, now the $5,000, where's that money come from?
Well, actually, we raised that money.
Okay.
And so we have had some donors in the past, and we have some anonymous donors that support the effort. If anyone's interested in helping support that, we have a sponsorship level. Right. And you can sponsor for as much as for as little as $100 or $1,000 or whatever your choice would be. We're more than willing to, of course.
Because the more that you can get donated to go toward this, the more
the less that comes off the top of
that's exactly comes off of the top of the earnings.
Now, last year we actually had to have our ball drop tickets reprinted because we originally had printed 3,000, and I think we wound up with about maybe 500 more balls. Printed? Yes, and we are not limited by that number because of what Richard Kahn has done and his folks. They give us the opportunity to really, we can fill that bucket up. And
it's huge.
It's huge.
It is huge. I don't know if you filled it up, my goodness, I can't imagine how many it would actually hold.
I can't either because it's right down in the bottom of this kind of...
And it doesn't even fill it half full, and that's 3,500, whatever, how many balls.
So we can do as many as anybody wants their ball in the bucket to win
however many times we will do it, that's right. Yes. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to run through all the ins and outs of how this is going to work. Plus, we're going to talk about a couple other programs that are coming up here that SAFE is doing and Sylacauga's Promise is doing, the Thanksgiving dinner for one. So stay with us, and we'll be right back.
10 big years, celebrating 10 big years of smiling customers at Toyota of Sylacauga. Construction continues with fresh new inventory arriving daily, and we need to make room.
We are your Sylacauga RAV4 connection, like a brand new 2014 RAV4. 0 down, 0% financing, and $1,000 cash back.
We're your small town dealer with big time savings. So come see us and get ready to smile. Online 24/7 at toyotaofsylacauga.com.
Wright Tire and Service on West Fort Williams in Sylacauga is the right place for you. We carry the right tires for your car: Goodyear, Cooper, General, Michelin, and lots more. Wright Tire and Service is also your right choice when it comes to all of your automotive service needs. Whether it's an oil change, front end alignment, brake service, or air conditioner work, make the right choice the first time and stop by Wright Tire and Service, Sylacauga.
In Central Alabama, 9,100 kids face going to bed hungry tonight. Hunger doesn't take a day off. There are kids right here, right now, that don't know where they'll get their next meal. Join Alabama Childhood Food Solutions and help put an end to childhood hunger in Central Alabama. Make a difference. Donate today, by mail or online, to help ACFS feed hungry kids. There's no better time to share than now. Their next meal could come from you.
Re-elect Shaddix Murphy, Talladega County Coroner, in the November 4th general election. Experience counts. Shaddix has a degree in mortuary science and certified in mass fatality management. Shaddix is a member of the Alabama Coroners Association. Shaddix Murphy is a licensed funeral director and embalmer for 16 years. Re-elect Shaddix Murphy, Coroner, Talladega County, November the 4th. Remember, experience counts.
There's one pharmacy that's so much more than just a drugstore. That's Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga. From cards for all occasions, a huge selection of gifts, even great exclusive Alabama and Auburn stuff, all kinds of household needs, and a complete selection of over-the-counter meds and supplies that you would expect. We are more than just a drugstore, but with our friendly, courteous staff and all of our great extras, we ought to be your drugstore. We're Marble City Pharmacy in Ogletree Plaza.
We're back now. Margaret, let's talk a little bit about some of the other programs that Sylacauga's Promise is involved in. I guess the most important one coming up is the Thanksgiving dinner this year.
Yes.
And that's been going on for goodness knows.
About 12 years.
Yeah, I was thinking at least.
Yeah, and what an amazing community effort. And truly, I think it's just that at the time, Sylacauga's Promise was the catalyst. But clearly, this is a community-wide effort. I mean,
people from Childersburg comes over. You know, it's amazing to me how it comes together.
When we were talking about earlier about the region, because we serve through this Thanksgiving dinner people that aren't necessarily residents of Talladega County.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, we have gone into Coosa County. You know, if the need arises and people are in need, we reach out, and it's sort of like the loaves and the fishes. There's always been enough. I mean, we've run close, but it's amazing.
You know, it was a few years before I really got involved with it, but to me, this is all part of the Thanksgiving ritual now, as far as...
I think it is a part of our
culture. I was talking
culture.
with my daughters over the weekend about what time we were going to have our Thanksgiving meal, and I said, well, you know, we want to help out with Thanksgiving dinner, and some of the grandkids want to help out this year, so we got to time it around that. Frankly, we could just have hot dogs afterward to be okay with me, because by the time we get done with that, you know.
I know.
But it's such a blessing, and Henry Looney, once again, at the Reaching the World Bible Church, is gracious, him and his wife, to let us use their church for this whole thing.
And they set up, and they're there, and they help clean up, and it's such a, you know, really opening your arms.
Yeah, in the city, like, you know, over the years, there's the afternoon. We go to the hospital, and all we do is open cans. We open cans because hospital does the vegetables.
Can opening party.
Yeah, can opening party, and then there's the turkey carving event at the recreation center. And it's an all over the area to help folks out who may not be able to have a good Thanksgiving meal.
And you know, to think that 250 people show up on average Thanksgiving morning to help serve. Now, we don't ever know how many are coming.
No.
We just, we're blessed with people that want to give to others. And they come in droves.
You're right.
Don't they?
They do, every time they truly do. And I don't know if I've never heard any numbers, and people can come there and eat. Or we can deliver it to them. What's the ratio there? Is there more that actually come to the church to eat than there is?
There has been a growing number of those individuals that come, and we love for them to come because it gives you a chance to be a part of a community and to visit and have that connection with each other.
Right.
But we have a lot of people that is not possible for, and so I'm saying probably 75, 25, 80, 20, something like that split. But and to think that we're able to serve in the neighborhood of 3,000 meals.
That's right. In like
2 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. Yeah. And I've been on both sides. I've stayed there and helped, and we've delivered. Delivering is very rewarding because these people are so proud to have those meals. Yeah. They truly are.
It's an interesting fact. I was out front at SAFE the other day, about a week or so ago, and Marcia, for those of you that call over
we all know Marcia.
Yeah. Marcia had answered the phone, and I knew immediately it was someone calling for a reservation for Thanksgiving. She said, well, now we don't start taking reservations until November the 3rd. And she said, well, we'll take your reservation. But I mean, people are already thinking along those lines.
Well, they do. People, I mean, like I said, this is no more that, you know, as far as that level, but people start wanting to know what the Christmas parade theme is in August.
Yeah.
So it's the same principle.
Yeah.
They get prepared and they get ready for it, and they are this too. And the funding for a lot of what happens on this Thanksgiving dinner comes from the ball drop.
Well, some does, but we also have a lot of people out in the community that go out and raise funds, like for the turkeys.
That's wonderful.
For the dressing.
That's right.
Although we have had a very generous gentleman who had a business in Childersburg, who the last 2 years has provided all the dressing and all the gravy, and has cooked some turkeys as well, and delivered them hot, ready to.
Wow, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
And but Lucille Anderson and Nancy McKay,
they're in charge.
They are year-round turkey.
They're turkey ladies.
They're not turkeys,
no,
but they're ladies that are out there.
We got to be careful how we do that.
Yeah, exactly.
they're raising the funds to make the turkeys possible for this Thanksgiving dinner. And then now the cakes and pies and all that kind of stuff.
That comes from the church.
That's right. The churches all donate those.
Brian Taunton and his church do a lot. They do some of the desserts, and they also do corn and green beans.
Green beans.
And they bring it in big coolers. It's an amazing process to watch.
It is, and it's so fun.
And then we just
doing
dip it up, and then people come and serve and that sort of thing. And then we collect canned goods through the schools, and we'll be getting that information out. And then, like you said, we have the Coosa Valley Medical Center heats all the vegetables.
Right.
And we store the carved turkeys there with them, and then they have a can opening party the afternoon before.
I love doing that. That is so fun.
And we have the turkey carving
the
morning before.
That's right,
and
at the rec center.
We all go away smelling and looking like we've been carving turkeys.
We've been carving turkeys all day. That's right.
So it's just, people that come tell such amazing stories about what it means to them that if we didn't serve 10 people, I think really the volunteers get more out of it than the people we volunteer to help.
Far and away. I'm sure that's very true. I really am, because it's just such a rewarding thing that we do, and each year more and more. Last year at the turkey carving, I got tickled because there was some young ladies who are all in college now, and they were already out, for the holiday, and they all three hurried home to make sure they could make the turkey carving, which I thought was just remarkable.
Well, there's such camaraderie.
Exactly.
Amongst all of us, we are in that kitchen with our sleeves rolled up. We've got some electric knives in our hands, and others are, pulling.
That's what all I was doing was using gloves in my hands. We were pulling the meat off the
and
off
people
the
are chit-chatting and talking and catching up. They might not have seen each other since the last time.
That's exactly right.
And so it really, and laughing, and I will remember one year that I made the terrible mistake. We delivered Jim Armstrong. The First Methodist Church does cooks all the turkeys and for their New War Choir, and so I had them put in what I thought was the cooler, but it was in the freezer.
Oh no!
So we get there that morning.
Oh no!
And they are frozen.
Oh my
Well, Jim
goodness.
said not to worry. We've got a convection oven. We were putting them in the convection oven to get them out, and
Jim's always, he's always got the answer.
Yeah,
He
we've
can
had
check it
frozen
off that
dressing
list.
before that morning.
That's
and we
right.
managed to get it
going.
Different churches and get it in there and get it going. So,
and that's all going to take place on Thanksgiving this year, which is Thursday the 27th at the Reaching the World Bible Church, and you'll hear more about that from me during my daybreak with Jimmy Dale on Thursday mornings, and you'll see flyers everywhere. And if you want to get involved, call Marcia at SAFE and get involved. But let's go over all the facts on this ball drop. You can who's selling tickets? I know I have them at the chamber.
There are tickets everywhere.
The board members got tickets.
There are tickets at SAFE.
Are you going to be at Walmart selling tickets?
We're going to be at Walmart selling tickets.
And when's that going to be? This weekend?
Not this weekend, but next weekend.
Next weekend.
Well, it won't be the weekend. It'll be Thursday and Friday, and then
Thursday and Friday
the week before, and then the week of we'll be out there on Wednesday and Thursday, because the football game, the Sylacauga Comer game this year, is on Thursday night rather than
Halloween is on Friday. That's
and
right.
so we will drop those balls after the game on October the 30th.
The 30th.
We do a lot. We sell tickets at the game. We will not be selling tickets at any of the other football games because we just don't want to interfere with all the fundraising that everybody else is doing.
That's true. That's very true. That's very, very true. So that's going to happen, and they're $5 a ticket. And I guess with Bluebell throwing the gauntlet down first.
We have, and I would start naming, but actually,
it's not
Kathy,
a bad thing to name.
Kathy Landers is heading up this effort, and she could not be here today. I'm kind of a sub-in.
Yes.
But she has been talking to a lot of the business and industry across and we have a number of industries that have picked up the challenge and are
to buy tickets.
Some buying 2 tickets.
For each employee?
Employees.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. That is
and you know what's
wonderful.
exciting is that because we have had some economic growth in Sylacauga.
Yes, we have.
Arising out of the recession. We have some of these companies have more employees, which means they're buying more tickets.
That's right, because I know right now that if Coosa Valley Medical Center is the largest employer in Sylacauga, if NEMAC was in the city limits, it is, because they're running close to 850 right now.
Wow!
And then I got a call today, and I wasn't aware of this, but this new Atlas plant that's coming out on in the industrial park, they're planning a November 1st opening.
Well,
starting up. I didn't think they were nearly that close
Wow.
yet. So, and ICO has started up limited production, and they're going to be having their grand opening. So, and there's a lot of, look at the restaurants. We've got a lot of new restaurants in town. So
yes, we do.
The economy, I believe, with all my heart, is beginning to take a slow turn.
Yeah, and we can see it in the, in our world.
Well, we've got 3 minutes to go here, so let's talk about. It's the ball drop on October the 30th, and if we run out of tickets, we'll get more.
Yeah, and by the way, you do not have to be present to win.
Right.
We have a very structured system of tracking whose number belongs to which ball.
It's so organized.
Yeah, it really is, and so you don't have to be there. If your place where you work buys a ticket for you, it may be that all we have is their number, but see, because the game's on Thursday night, on Friday we'll be able to call and let you know if we don't have your phone number.
That's right, because otherwise it's been on a Friday night and it's hard to get folks over the weekend, so a lot of times they didn't know when it
until
was
Monday.
Until Monday, that's right. That's
Unless the Facebook and all that sort of stuff.
Which is usually faster than anything else.
It may say, well, the Bluebell person won or whatever.
But I give it, and they're $5 a ticket, and you can get them anywhere all over town. We have
Call Safe. We'll bring them to you.
We'll bring them to you. We've got them at the Chamber of Commerce. All the board members, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely.
At Safe, they have tickets to sell.
Sylacauga Promise Committee does.
That's right.
Safe staff, people across the community.
It's going to be a wonderful evening, and this football game every year. It's the last. It's kind of like it's the Marble City Classic.
Yeah.
It's Sylacauga and BB Comer, and it's a grand rivalry with the schools.
And you can come and see Carol Bates and Doug Murphy and
Chief Carden.
Chief Carden out there on the field, and pull. There's a long rope that they have to run and pull to open up the
big balls. That's right.
And get out of the way quick.
But run away.
Yeah.
I think it's so funny too. At the end of that, when it's all over with, and we got the balls, they're all over the field, and we've got the winner. It didn't take long to pick them all up.
No, it doesn't.
Because kids come out of the stands and they start bringing them to us. And we get them all
really
back in
is, because I think that was one of our greatest fears early on, was it's going to take forever to clean the. No, it doesn't.
But it doesn't. No, we have a lot of helpers.
Yeah, we have big tubs, and they come and they put them all in the tubs, and then we take them back to Safe for next year.
Well, Margaret, I really, really appreciate you being here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
We need to talk about this because it's such a great event, and it goes to such a great program that benefits so many people in our whole city. I mean, between the Thanksgiving dinner and then and the ball drop and the dinner under the stars and everything that Sylacauga Safe and the Sylacauga's Promise is about, is all because of you out there and Margaret Morton and her staff, and I really, really appreciate everybody being with me today. And next time on Chamber Chat, I'm not sure who we're going to have, but we're going to be talking about the holiday open house. Till then.